Good evening and welcome to the second video blog. Tonight I'll be talking about why direct action must be the priority in the animal liberation movement. You know, I'm sick of hearing about the vegan socials, how well attended they are. I'm sick about hearing how few people are turning up at demos unless there's something to be seen at, like the big animal liberation march through London earlier on this year, which attracted 2,000–3,000 vegans. But none of this is saving animals' lives. It's all about likes on Facebook and Twitter. We need to stop this nonsense, we really do. We need to focus on non-violent direct action. Take shops for example. British Heart Foundation, instead of advertising demos on Facebook and Twitter and hoping people travel in, why not just organise locally offline with 4 or 5 people going in and causing mayhem into these shops and making sure the press are there so we can get in the papers, we can get on the radio and we can explain why we're taking such actions. And in doing so, we also cost these companies money, because if we're in there sitting down and causing a bit of mayhem, you know, with banners and megaphones and whatever, people aren't going to go in. It's that simple. It's going to cost them money. Take the saves for example. All over the country, people are standing there filming cows, pigs, sheep, chickens. What are they actually achieving apart from likes and sympathy on Facebook? What are they actually achieving? What the Save movement needs to do is everybody go into the local slaughterhouses and have sit-downs, and having sit-downs, these companies are going to have to stop production, and that production costs money. And when you do this enough times, they're going to have to employ more security. They're going to have to really change the outlook, how they operate, with big fences, whatever. All this costs money, and it's money they can't pass on to the consumer, because supermarkets etc. won't allow it, because they want to keep their prices down, and they will force these companies out of business themselves. And you know, if we do cost these companies money, eventually if it costs them too much money, they're just going to pack in. Let's face it, if your business isn't making any money, you're going to you can't carry on. What's the point? What's the point? People are in business to make money, and that's what you should be focusing on. And we should be doing this right across the board with animal liberation, is taking non-part direct action. And you know, people say, oh, I might get arrested, I might get this. You might get a telling off of the policeman. That's the reality of it. Most police with these demos just see it as a bit of a nuisance. Once you've been your 10 minutes of whatever you're campaigning against, they just ask you to leave and you just move on. Just move on politely. You don't have to be aggressive, you don't have to do anything, you know. And with the media watching, this could be absolutely mega. And you know, and a great example of that in the present day time is with the fracturists. What they're doing, that's just absolutely amazing. I can't believe now they're reaching, you know, into millions of people's homes on the news and stuff like that. You know, people are coming out supporting them, they're growing, and they get so much support and they get so much coverage. And that's what we should be doing in the animal liberation movement, is achieving them goals, getting people out. Forget the cake, forget just standing outside shops, forget that. Just concentrate on non-violent direct action. And when you start doing that, you start getting the media, then we start growing again. And as I pointed out, like the the fractivist movement, we could be huge again. We could be like we were in the 80s. I mean, you know, we were in the papers, we were on discussion programmes. I mean, I remember seeing Ronnie Lee on Central Live weekends, you know, 2 or 3 times. Absolutely brilliant, you know, all in people who you're reaching out to. And we really do need to focus on that. And, you know, I'm holding this picture of the Animal Liberation Front. I presume most people know who it is. I won't mention their name, even though it's a widely publicised picture. But everybody seems to have this thing about publishing Animal Liberation Front stuff, bigging up the big names in the past, wearing balaclavas in their bedrooms and taking selfies, creating this madness image online, and it's just absolutely bizarre. If you aren't going to do what your heroes did, then what's the bother? What's the point trying to copy that if you aren't going to do what they did? Just absolutely nonsense. There's words on this poster. It says, "This is not enough. Stand up and fucking fight." I wake up to these words every morning. Every day I go out, whether it's union work, whether it's Animal Liberation Front, whether it's saving women's lives from violent abuse from men. I go out and do it, you know, all the time. That's how I live. And yeah, okay, you get some hassle from the police. Some police knocking on the door, but no one's ever come and sort of arrested me for it. Well, not in the last 20 years anyway, and particularly not in the last few years, because the police approach, you know, it's different now. It's different, and you know, and I don't know how to explain it, because you all think, you know, a lot of you think you're going to go out, get arrested, face 10 years in jail, whatever, you're going to lose your jobs, lose your homes. That isn't going to happen. That isn't going to happen with non-violent direct action. It really isn't. And at the most, you know, if you do get arrested and you do get a fine, so what? It's only a small fine. It isn't, you know, for most people, it isn't going to do anything, because most people are chipping and paying their fine for you anyway. If you get a caution, okay, I can understand people who need to have these DBS checks and stuff like that. But if you don't go so mad with doing stuff, you can still go out and be a nuisance and cause companies financial damage. Just by going and doing a sit down, you aren't going to get charged and arrested for that. You really aren't. And I'm just sick of people like myself being called divisive, whatever, for keep on bringing this up, because we're the ones who want to save animals' lives. We're the ones who really do want to save animals' lives. We ain't talking about it. We aren't looking, is the image, you know, right for the fashion parade, for the animal liberation movement. You know, we just want more people to come out. You know, I was down in the Cool Zone recently, and there were so few people down in the Gloucester area. It was unreal. You know, I'd be down there one weekend and there were 70 people having a social in my area, having vegan pizza, and yeah, badgers were being shot dead. What kind of victory is that? You can't give each other a pat on the back for that, surely. Surely not. And, you know, when I talk about outreach, yeah, great doing outreach, but it's grossly exaggerated how many people we're actually reaching. Okay, you might have a couple of people think about veganism and stuff like that, go home and maybe get into it, maybe even go vegetarian, whatever. But the reality is, even with things like outreach, you just get insulted by the general public. You just have the piss taken out of you, you know, all the time. And I've been there, I do it myself, you know. I know what happens. I know what happens, you know. I do it in Telford, I do it in Birmingham, I do it in Wolverhampton, and I've done it in London, you know. So I do see what happens. So I'm not ignorant to it. And as I said, this non-violent direct action is the way forward. And it must be the way forward. and that's the only way we're going to help animals. We aren't going to help them all, but in time we will. In time we will. One day we will have animal liberation, but animal liberation will only come about when it becomes non-profitable. Think about it.